Please subscribe my channel. I still remember the sound of the gravel crunching under the tires when my son and I pulled into the driveway that Sunday evening. The trip had been perfect. Just me and Ryan under the stars, fishing at the lake, roasting marshmallows, laughing until late at night. It had been exactly what I needed: time to breathe, to bond with my boy, to get away from the constant tension that had been building inside the walls of our house. But the moment we walked through the front door, I knew something was wrong. The air felt heavy, too quiet, as though the house itself was holding its breath. Ryan ran upstairs to put his stuff away, and I went toward the bedroom, calling out for my wife. Emily. No answer. When I opened the bedroom door, the world tilted. There she was, my wife, the woman I had built a life with for 8 years, in our bed with another man. His shirt was on the floor. Her hair was a mess. The smell of sweat and perfume hit me before the sight fully registered. For a second, nobody moved. Emily's eyes widened, then she had the audacity to yell, "What are you doing here?" As if I was the intruder in my own home. I didn't scream. I didn't lunge at the guy. I just stood there, numb, my hand still on the doorknob. The man grabbed his pants and mumbled something about leaving. He brushed past me without meeting my eyes. I heard the front door slam behind him. Then Emily turned on me and said, "This is your fault, you know. You're never here. You spend more time camping and working late than being with me. What did you expect?" I felt like the floor had vanished under me. This wasn't an apology, not even a shred of guilt. It was an accusation. I had just walked in on her betraying me, and somehow I was the one being blamed. I left the room without another word, my hands shaking. Ryan came down the stairs asking why I looked so pale. I couldn't even answer him. I just said, "Go pack a bag, buddy. We're staying at Grandpa's tonight." That night at my father's house, I lay awake staring at the ceiling. Ryan had fallen asleep clutching the stuffed bear I'd won him at the fair last month. My father didn't ask questions. He just put an arm on my shoulder, as if he knew I wasn't ready to talk. By morning, my phone was full of messages from Emily. At first they were angry, full of accusations. "You abandoned me. You can't just take Ryan away like this. We need to talk." Then a few hours later her tone shifted. It didn't mean anything. "We can work this out. You're overreacting. Please come home." But every message just made me angrier. Overreacting? I had walked in on her in the middle of cheating. How exactly was I supposed to react? Shake the man's hand? 3 days passed before I agreed to meet her. Not because I wanted to fix things, but because Ryan deserved answers. We met at a coffee shop halfway between my dad's place and our house. She walked in looking perfectly put together, as though she was the one wronged, as though this was just another marital spat. She sat across from me, arms crossed, and started with, "You've been so distant, Mark. You spend all your time at work, or off doing your own thing. I've been lonely. I made a mistake, yes, but what did you expect? You left me no choice." Her words cut deeper than the sight of her betrayal. She wasn't sorry, not really. She was rewriting the narrative, making herself the victim, me the villain. I asked her one question. If Ryan had walked in instead of me, would you still say it was just a mistake? She flinched at that, but still didn't answer. I realized then that no apology was coming. No real remorse. If anything, she wanted me to carry the weight of her choices, to patch things up so she could feel better about what she'd done. When I left the cafe, I knew what I had to do. I wasn't going back. Not yet. Maybe not ever. That evening, I went back to the house, not to stay, but to pack. Ryan deserved stability, and I couldn't provide that under the same roof as Emily. She was waiting for me, standing in the doorway like she had been rehearsing her speech all day. "Mark, we can still save this marriage," she said softly. "For Ryan. For us." I walked past her without a word and went straight to Ryan's room, carefully folding his clothes into a suitcase. She followed me, her voice sharper now. "So that's it? You're just going to throw everything away because of one mistake? What about the years we spent together?" I turned to face her, feeling the anger I'd kept buried all week rise to the surface. "You didn't make one mistake, Emily. You made a choice. Every text, every meeting, every lie, those were choices. And you didn't just betray me. You risk blowing apart the one thing that still matters, Ryan's sense of safety. Her face crumpled then, but I didn't soften. I couldn't. You want to blame me for being distant? Fine. But you could have talked to me. Instead, you opened the door to someone else. When I walked out carrying the suitcase, she finally broke down. Mark, please don't do this. I'll end it with him. We can start over. I paused at the threshold, taking in the home we had built together, the photos on the wall, the life we had shared. And then I said, quietly but firmly, you should have thought about starting over before I found you with him. Ryan and I drove away that night, the house disappearing in the rearview mirror. I didn't know what the future held. Court dates, custody arrangements, maybe even a divorce lawyer. But for the first time in days, I felt something close to peace. Because I knew one thing for certain. I wasn't going to let Emily rewrite the story. This time, I was the one choosing my son, choosing my self-respect, choosing to walk away from a woman who blamed me for the fire she started. And that choice felt like freedom.